everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily, but you can call me Ems. Today I wanted to talk a bit about how I wind cakes out of my skeins or hanks of yarn without a yarn swift. And right here should give you a little bit of a hint, and that is that I use coffee mugs. How do I use coffee mugs, you ask? Well, let's first talk about what you need to wind one of these into a ball. I personally use a ball winder because it makes everything so much easier, but using this method, you also don't need a ball winder. Instead, you'd wrap around your hand like this. But I use a ball winder and use my other hand to make sure I guide the yarn. So first you need 3 coffee mugs. I find these Starbucks ones. These are the You Are Here collection. I collect the You Are Here and the Been There collection. This one's California. This one's Paris. This one is Dusseldorf. Paris and Dusseldorf were sent to me by a friend who used to play D&D with me because he knows that I collect these. I feel like it's his personal mission to get me like everyone in Europe. I'm kind of scared of that. And then California, I got one. I was in California. So you need 3 of these, and what I do is I place the mugs upside down. Just gonna move my yarn out of the way for a second. And what I do is I place the mugs upside down and I face the handles in towards each other like this. So that's the first step, is face the handles towards each other like this. So next what I'm going to do is grab open one of my skeins of yarn. This is from Sweet Skein O' Mine, which is done right here in Fredericton. This is the colorway Pumpkin Chai, which is special for the fall. You may recognize that I bought one previously from the Gagetown Fiber Gathering, but I ended up messaging her and asking if she could dye me a second one. She was doing another set of it, so I picked this up from her place, and she actually included a Werther's Original and a bag of tea that is maple apple cider, caffeine-free tea, which I will definitely need for the knit along, the mystery knit along with West Knits. This will be needed. The Werther's Original will go to my partner because I can't have dairy. So let's open this up. It's one of the chewy Werther's Originals. I love the smell of yarn. And this cellophane I can save for something else potentially. Maybe storing some of my makes or something like that. So what I do is I take my 3 mugs that I have placed here. So first I take off the label. And then I find this end here and I pull it out, making sure I hold on through the hole here, and I let it unwind. And I take my hand down like this so that we have one full hank like this. You can kind of see a bit more the color is shining through now. And then I wrap it around my coffee mugs. So place it around my coffee mugs, and then what I do is I kind of just separate my coffee mugs as much as necessary so that they are held fairly taut here. And I try to make sure I don't have anything going under, so I'm going to fix this one. Make sure that nothing's going under the coffee mugs. Placing them under, just stretching them a little bit. And then of course I find my ends. So I find the tied ends, and I find the strings that are holding the hank together. Snip the hank strings and just gently pull them out. And the ones that are yarn and not a separate string, I kind of try to just untie them just in case the ends are there, because I just found one end. This end right here I just found in a knot, and this was a tie that was tied on. You can actually see the original yarn color under there, that bright white. So I have found two ends over here, but I do know that there is another string here holding on to things, and I think there's another one. Usually they're done in halves or thirds or quarters, so there's usually either 2, 3, or 4 of these. So just check out for these and pull them out. This was also just a single with no ends inside that one. And then I think this should also be a single with no ends, but we are going to untie it just in case that we don't ruin anything. There we go. We got all of our ends free. So now our hank of yarn is just kind of here, nice and free. I'm going to see which of these ends pulls more from the top, and it's going to be this one that's going clockwise. My counterclockwise one is kind of underneath, so it would cause more catching. So I'm just going to tuck it underneath so that it's not in the way. Then what I'm going to do is unwind this a little. Then I'm going to hook it into my ball winder. Because this is such a fine sock weight yarn, I'm going to double over this end before putting it into the little, if you can see here, the little notch. You put it into the notch. So I've doubled it over just to help it out a little bit. And then I wrap it through this spring hook thing that flips back and forth. So this will spin while this goes back and forth. I'm going to lower you guys now so that maybe I can get a view of the ball winder doing its thing while I wrap this. And when you're doing this, sometimes you'll end up with little strings that pop over the mugs into the middle. Just pop them back over and retighten the mugs. So the mugs will loosen up as you go. You just want to retighten them, just pull them apart, because the less yarn that's around it, the less pressure that's around it. So it's kind of releasing that pressure, outward pressure. So it's kind of, these mugs just need to be tugged a little bit before you can keep going. So I'm not actually sure what was up with that, but doing this one versus this one, I saw a very big difference actually in winding. So this one is a blue-faced Leicester sock, which is 80% blue-faced Leicester and 20% nylon. This one is 80% superwash blue-faced Leicester and 20% nylon. So they're both blue-faced Leicester, but this one's superwash and this one is not, it appears. It doesn't mention being superwash. But I found this one incredibly difficult to wind. And that will happen when you don't have a yarn swift and you're using the mug method like I do, is some yarns will be so difficult to wind and you'll take a long time. This one took me maybe 5 minutes and this one took me a good 15 to 20 of struggle, because first it was wrapped around weird and then the yarn was sticking to itself really badly, so I was like really having to yank on it and the mugs kept pushing in, so I had to push them back out. It was a whole ordeal. So this took a lot longer. So I'm not sure why that is. It could be just because this is superwash and this is not. Like, even feeling them right now, this feels a lot smoother. This feels a little more hooky, like it sticks to your fingertips a little bit more. This one is still very soft, but not quite as soft as this one. So, but they all kind of have their own raison d'etre, you know? So obviously this would be a lot faster and a lot easier if you have a yarn swift, but if you don't like me, then this is a great option for you, especially if you're not sure if you're going to stick with knitting for a long time. You could, instead of like investing in these things, you could do this, and you can do this while wrapping it around your hand as well to do a hand wrapped ball. I just personally prefer my ball winder. I got this ball winder very inexpensively. It is a Loops and Threads ones from Michaels, not one of the best ones in the world. I think the ones that technically are a little bit better are the ones where both the hook moves back, where the hook stays straight actually, and the like tube thing that the yarn sits on, that both spins and rotates like this. So like the ones from Knit Picks, and there's a couple of other ones I've seen out there as well. Those are probably better. This was a nice inexpensive option. It was like, I used like a 40% off coupon with it as well. So like it's paid for itself in spades already. So, and I even ball up, I cake up my skeins of yarn as well. Like anything that comes in a bullet skein, I will also cake up. And if you're caking up a bullet skein, it's so much easier. Pull from the middle, get your center pull. Let the yarn barf's gonna happen, just let it be. Just pull it out, untangle the yarn barf, and then do this, and you can just leave your bullet skein to your left. Well, with this one, you'd have to do right hand crank, left hand is the tension. So just like leave the bullet skein here and then like tension it from here and just rotate away like a pencil sharpener, an old style pencil sharpener. And that is how I cake up yarn. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and maybe seeing me struggle in high speed with this one. I'm going to be caking up some more yarn. I have this one to cake up, as well as I have 2 bullet skeins of my Patons Croy sock that I want to cake up as well. I'm gonna need 2 more for the mystery knit along. However, I figured I could start with 2. That would be half of the amount of yarn that I need. And since I'm using black, it's a very easy yarn to get a hold of. And life's too short to match blacks. It's too short to match blacks. I don't care that much. So this will be enough that I have. So now I have enough of my main color, and I have my accent color, and I have half of my contrast color. So I'm excited to get started. It's going to be kind of spooky Halloweeny with a little bright tealy pop. And I'm excited for that. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Leave me a comment down below. Do you have a Yarn Swift and ball winder? And if so, where did you get yours? And were they expensive or inexpensive? My thing is, I don't just want to go out to Amazon and buy a cheap yarn Swift that looks like an umbrella that's about to fall apart if it gets looked at wrong. I want a nice sturdy one, either wooden or wood mixed with other materials like the bands. So let me know down below where you got yours. Do you like it? Do you wish you would have waited for something a little bit better quality? Let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching today, and have a good one. I love you, lots. Bye.